Alright, grab your mochas, grab your lattes, grab your cappuccinos, whatever the hell you're drinking. It's your boy, Jobbers and Goons. I'm the host of the coffee shop today, and we are bringing you an absolute banger. This is a scaling video. Shout out to my boy Fran for requesting this. This is a scaling video on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Multiverse and beyond. Basically, we're going to review how you could scale the Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta and all its cosmological pieces. And I'll give you some higher arguments. And ultimately, it's going to be a fun exploration of just how strong Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be. We are going to be looking at two parts, right? The first part, I will be presenting basically, the old lore from the old original Yu-Gi-Oh! Game and story. And then the second part of the video, shout out to my boy GB for helping me gather this info. It's basically Master Duel, like their version of events and whatnot and how they scale. So you'll be getting a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore, basically. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, smash the like button. Get this to 100 likes, and maybe I'll bring a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character into battle, such as Exodia or whatnot again. And yeah, we can explore that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this. And without further ado, let's begin. So, the way you gotta kind of scale, or how I scaled the old meta, right? Everybody knows Exodia was the big dog. He did have a battle with a character named Zork. However, Exodia was handicapped at the time because his power was tied to a dying human. So, he was fucked. But Exodia, historically was seen as the end-all, be-all being. And according to historians of the lore of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Exodia himself is based on ideas like outer gods from Lovecraft. Basically, he's so powerful that we can't even comprehend his true form or how he'd really operate. This is kind of cemented by the fact that on each card, each sealed limb and aspect of Exodia is stated to have infinite power itself. So even like his right hand, infinite power. All aspects of him have infinite power. And because he's kind of seen as the big dog, we got to kind of review the rest of the verse to see naturally what he scales above, or how my boy Captain Forrest calls it, chain scaling. So there are the gods of the Aesir, right? These are the trio of gods from Norse mythology: Loki, Odin, and Thor. By the way, shout out my boy Reality Spine if you want to go see how the mythology scales. He does a lot of mythological scaling, and we did battles over there. They represent their mythic beings, and even in the anime, there was roots symbolizing Yggdrasil, which you can also kind of see on the card, I think. These beings, even only as card avatars, can do things like protect the user's minds from time alteration. So they're stupid powerful. And in these anime, like I said, the cards were found by roots symbolizing Yggdrasil. There's also things like Time Lords. Now, the Time Lords are beings that represent the Tree of Life and the Supreme Being in a reference to God himself, but was given another name to avoid backlash. This being Sephiron also is the ultimate Time Lord, and his attack is referencing the use of the energy that makes all of reality. It's the fundamental force. It's called the Akashic Storm, by the way, which is it's insane. Almost every other major pantheon and mythologies throughout the world are represented in Yu-Gi-Oh! Some include the Creator and Herald of Creation, beings said to make creation, or are avatars of divine creators themselves. There are also outer entities and beings that seem to be associated with Lovecraftian type thinking, cosmic horrors from beyond even an imagination. A Korean exclusive expansion pack also featured the infamous Cthulhu mythos entity Azathoth. Exodia still scales above all these pantheons and beings in his complete true form. He seems to be the final super outer being that even gods can't check. And just for some examples of other cases throughout this lore, that kind of confirms the verse already scales massively high without Exodia. Some beings are coined as infinities and get massive amps upon slaying foes. Primordial suns are fodder. Star Eater dragons exist. Big Bang level cards are used in the game, and in lore there are references to the universe spawning event. There are multiple realms in Yu-Gi-Oh! It is common to see dimensional space manipulation as well. So overall, the older meta for Yu-Gi-Oh!, in my opinion, was stupidly broken. With several characters, including the gods, already scaling massively high, as fodder beings are like infinite and so are primordial suns. But we know that there are certain beings that are like beyond the imagination, and they even have Azathoth, and if you want to count expansion packs, but Exodia, right, it exists above that. So it's absolutely absurd. Obviously, high outer for Exodia, you could probably argue, just being he's beyond even the Akashic references. With Akashic, or Akashic, however you say it, typically housing things like ideas, emotions, concepts, archetypes, dreams, non-dreams, all that shit. And he scales beyond that. So yeah, definitely some high outer arguments for big boy Exodia back in the old days. Now let's take a look over at what we would call, the Master Duel meta. Now in Master Duel, there's beings like the Monarchs, right? And what are the Monarchs? Well, the Monarchs embody concepts with their leader scaling even further beyond that. Matter itself cannot even handle them. Stated again, they were beings that are embodiments of concepts, and while they destroy all in their path, there is one who grants rebirth to what is destroyed. Queen of Oblivion is a god who can exist without believers and can manipulate time. Now this is interesting because, a lot of gods rely upon belief, but she's independent of that, and so she kind of exists beyond thoughts and prayers. Demise, Armageddon, can erase worlds from timelines entirely. It was also stated to, at one point, be damn near omnipotent. Naturia, Sacred Tree, embodies the cycle of life and death as reincarnation, so you can argue that as a duality as well. In Master Duel cosmology. And in the first official summon of the Anime Beyond Season 0, Kaiba is in disbelief as he is summoned and quoted as the first time ever Exodia was summoned in game history. Exodia, only an action loss, like I said, came to Zork due to the fact that he was powered by a human soul and his true power wasn't fully leashed. And in the 10,000 plus cards within the card game, there are only 3 cards that result in instant victory. The Creator of Light, Exodia the Forbidden One, and Numeronia. It's safe to say that due to the rules surrounding these cards, these monsters / gods are far beyond more powerful than those that embody even concepts or the masters which they serve under. The Lightsworn, beings in this verse as well, are capable of punching through space and time to reach other dimensions in order to answer prayers, as they are justice basically embodied. So yeah, there's definitely in the Master Duel side of things, obviously Exodia still exists. We know he still scales supreme, and other beings scale up to him as well, or around that level, as they can stop the game. So it's interesting to see. You could argue Master Duel might be a little stronger than original because it introduces more characters that might be like Exodia tier. But there's the Lightsworn. There's other beings too that have very impressive feats. So yeah, overall, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a very impressive cosmology. It's very fun to look back at one of my childhood favorite card games, and overall getting a sense of just how strong it was. So on the low end, even if you want to be lowball, it's Universe plus Multiversal. But the Supreme Beings would still be Outerversal. They just naturally scale higher. And if we're highballing, the Supreme Beings are high outer. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something today and learned a little bit more about the scaling for Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you want to see more characters from Yu-Gi-Oh! And battles or more explained videos on the scaling, definitely hit the like button. Tell me what you want to see in the comment section down below. Let's get this over 100 likes. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons. This is The Coffee Shop, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.